Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. We have a family friend, personal friend on the channel, and he's going to bring a couple of pocket listings to you. I know you guys like deals, so we are going to bring this. These will probably be what, pocket listings into the weekend, Dylan? Is that right?
Yeah. The triplex will be at the end of the week, and then we should have the two houses on one parcel by the beginning of next week.
Awesome. Well, folks, I'm going to record this video the morning of the 15th. I will post it probably by 2 o'clock on the 15th. So you're going to have a couple of days if you are interested in looking at these. Let's just hit this right now, Dylan. What is your phone number so people can call you if they want to get into these before they're on the MLS? What is that?
Awesome. Yeah, it's 559-481-9738.
Very cool. And folks, Dylan is a licensed agent in Fresno County. These are going to be two listings in 93701, which is an area I own a bunch of property in. So Dylan, before we bring up the slides, you want to talk about these assets at all?
Yeah, absolutely. So originally, I was just telling Michael a little bit earlier, originally we were calling on these people to potentially wholesale them or buy these properties outright. Unfortunately, but fortunately for them, they want a little bit market value. And I try to tell people we're problem solvers, not just investors or realtors. So they're looking for market value, and that's something that we could offer them. So we started, we're going to start marketing them as of next week. So
yeah, again, this is something I think more and more people need to realize. Actually, Chris Williams, a member of the Hub, was the first person to bring this title. I'm sure it's been out there longer, but I had never heard of it before. And that is a real estate entrepreneur, right? Your job is to take incoming leads, solve problems, and then disposition. So in this case, you called on an owner who had a couple of assets. As we'll see in a minute, they're not pristine, right? I don't think that's bad to say. They're going to need some work and some love. And that just means there's opportunity. So Dylan, why don't you take over, share the screen so we can talk about it.
Yeah. And just real quick, this was actually two separate leads. So,
yes.
And they were looking for the same price, ironically, but
oh, it's funny.
Yeah. So anyways.
Okay. There we go.
All right. So for the first one, this is a triplex in Fresno. We have three, they're all fully occupied. The first one is the model tenant, keeps up the unit very well. The middle one is the problem tenant. I've had some difficulty just kind of getting in contact with them, scheduling some pictures and things like that. But the third one's been super cooperative as well, although his unit is not the most nicely kept. But it definitely needs a little bit of TLC, but the bones are good, as I kind of noted right here in this second bullet point. We're planning on listing it at 285. They're preferring a cash buyer, but they are entertaining the idea of conventional. It probably wouldn't go FHA just because you know how that works.
So when I look at, so Dylan, when I look at this, right, so those are swamp coolers on top, not ACs, right? Yes. I'm guessing. Yeah. They look to be all one bedrooms, although that back unit might be a two. I don't know how big that is. Are they all ones, or is there 2 1s and 1 2?
Yeah, they're all 1 1s.
Okay, they're all 1 1s. And that's a courtyard. So I'm going to guess there's a triplex to the right of that, probably.
Yeah, so our lead right there to the right of it is actually his son, and he owns that other triplex.
Gotcha. Okay. And is there a fence or anything, or is it just a big pile of grass that's between them?
It's just a big pile of grass.
Okay. All right. And the son is keeping his triplex, I'm guessing.
Yes, the son, as of right now, the son is keeping his triplex.
Okay, very cool. And then 600 rent, that's 600 for each. So it's producing 1,800 today?
Yes, as of right now, but they told me numerous times in the meeting that they hadn't increased the rent, I think, since they bought it. So it's
been a while.
Definitely up to date. If put a little bit of TLC would bring it fully up to market value. I think would be about 850 to 900 per unit.
Yeah, I was going to say 850 pretty easily. The other thing I don't know here is, are there carports in the back?
I didn't see any carports. I think it's just full street parking.
Street parking. Okay, that's pretty common for that area.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure, and there's no like permits or anything like that you need for the street parking. It's all free.
No, it's all free parking in Fresno. And then the last thing I have, just looking at the picture, are the roofs. They look decent, but again, it's one picture.
Yeah. So the roof, from our first inspection, we've gone to the property now twice. I'm going to go again today. The roof seems like in pretty good shape. I think in the last like 10 years it's been updated, so it's pretty relatively new. And I mean, it's got some work, but the bones are good. It just the inside. I know the back unit, it had like a moldy bathroom just because the tenant doesn't
open the window. Yeah.
So but for the most part, all the bones are good. The swamp coolers are, I mean, they're swamp coolers, but they're in good shape.
Yeah. So when I look at a building like this, folks, you really have a couple of things as a landlord, right? I've bought assets like this over the last 20 years. You can either go in and do what I call a lipstick, remodel, which is, new paint, maybe change the flooring, you tweak the bathroom, not remodel them, or you can go in and do a little bit more. Those look like old single pane windows. It's obviously got security doors, at least I can see on two of them. Right. So you have the opportunity to upgrade. I think 800 is real easy if you do a lipstick, but if you do the right things, you might even get 895 for rent like this. You're obviously going to have some tenant headaches because those tenants that are paying 600 aren't going to be the ones that pays 895. So you're going to have turnover. You'd have to plan for that ahead of time. But these are the things, that you go through. Any word on, is like the middle tenant not paying rent because of COVID? Are they playing games, or do you know?
So they're all paying rent. He's more of has a little bit more ownership, and he is kind of strong-willed. So he doesn't want, we're obviously going to market it on the MLS. So
Sure.
we're trying to schedule pictures, and we're doing a termite report.
Yeah.
Just we like to have those things squared away right away. He just doesn't want to kind of cooperate. So he's been a little bit difficult to deal with, but he still pays rent. So he's paying as of right now. They all are.
Yeah. I guess the one thing I would tell a new landlord, if you're going to buy this building, plan to have 3 units turned. Because the people that pay 600 can't pay 900. And if I was doing this as tenants left, I would do what I call my pride of ownership flips. Again, on this channel, you go back to my walkthrough videos, you'll see what I mean by that. Costs a little bit more now, but you'll be able to have higher rents and less expensive turnovers going in the future. So pretty cool. I like this. So again, if somebody wants a triplex, how should they reach out to you? What's your phone number, Dylan?
Yeah, it's 559-481-9738. Or if they want to email me, they're more than welcome. It's Dylan@miracle-realty.com.
Very cool. All right. Well, let's talk about the next one. I love 2 houses on one lot. What do we got there?
This one's a beauty. So this one is actually, in my opinion, a little bit better in terms of like the tenants. They're strong paying tenants. They've been there for a while. The owner is, he's one of those kind of people that, is very about the numbers. Like when we were doing the listing agreement, he read through every single thing, made sure we explained every single item to him.
Oh, nice.
Usually sellers aren't always like that. They just kind of like, where do I sign? Here we go.
Yeah, where do I sign? Get it out of my way.
Yeah. So he definitely has a lot of pride in the property, and you can tell by just the initial walkthrough. It still needs a little bit of TLC, just as most do, but I mean, for the most part, really well kept. The roofs are in good shape. The bones are all good. If you wanted to put some money into it, you could. It doesn't necessarily need to. And as of right now, it could be a potential turnkey. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at this picture again, this is the first time I'm seeing these with you again. First and foremost, you do see the second house. I love that there's a fence separating them. That's a big deal. And oh, by the way, it's a newer fence. You can tell, at least appears to be from the 20 feet that I could see, a newer fence. And the front yards are fenced. These are all things I do on my units. Plus it looks to be stuccoed. It appears to be, is that stucco or is that just tan paint?
So I'm co-listing with my dad on this one. I believe, okay. I'm not exactly sure if it's stucco. I could verify.
Yeah, I was just curious. Not that it matters. It's well kept from the outside. Looks like newer windows. Those are dual pane windows. At least it appears to be. So this landlord clearly cares about it. I also love how the porch is framed in. I do that all the time as well. Put in those little gates that kind of frame in the porch. I do have a question about the doors. Those look interesting, right? There's essentially 2 front doors. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I'd want to know the story about that. Was it maybe a duplex at one time that's now a house? Let's just say that's not a normal configuration. And also one of the doors appears to be bigger than the other one, which again is not normal. So that would be something I would be asking about if I was looking at this. Again, it wouldn't bother me. I would just want to know, because maybe it could be a duplex, right? Sometimes they're like right down the middle, kitchens on each side. Sometimes they get ripped out. If I owned it and it was supposed to be a house, I would probably replace one of those doors unless there's a really good reason for it. So that's probably a 2-bedroom house, or is it a 3? Do you know?
I believe it's a 2. I'm not exactly sure. Okay. I do know that just if there's one family in it. I know the first one, they're both Spanish speakers. It's a couple, and in the back, they're a couple as well. But,
is the back house kind of the same size? Sometimes they're a little smaller.
Yeah, I think relatively in the same size. I'm not exactly sure, because the hard part is with the APN, it only shows really like the one property. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure in terms of like the actual square footage. I know it's relatively around the same size.
Yeah, it's going to be around the same thing. So it'll be a 2-1, 2-1. And again, they're paying $1,000 each, which $2,000 total, right? That's how I read that.
Yeah. I think it might be 1,000 and some change. I know it's right around that area.
And then probably street parking, given you don't see carports, I would guess.
Yeah. So this one is actually, I mean, probably you could throw a stone from the triplex and hit this one. This one's really close in proximity to the other one.
Okay. Yeah. Again, 93701 is a great area. So again, the triplex to me probably would technically get you more income, although it's going to need more what I call make ready in my course. This one, again, I haven't seen any insides, but again, just based on the outside, probably a lot closer to turnkey. This one might go FHA, don't know. Meaning, I don't know. Again, do your own inspections, folks. But I got to tell you, I like 2 houses on one lot a lot. And especially because there's a fence. Anytime you can have space, right? I have a saying on my channel, space is good. That really does. And again, just think about it, right? The 1-1s are getting you 600 today, probably 895. I got a 2-1. I just on my channel, folks, I did a pride of ownership remodel. It's my last walkthrough video. I think it might be my second to last, but we're getting 1095 for that 2-1. No carports, small lot, 4,000 square feet. So it does have a backyard, little 2-1, fully remodeled. We got 1095 for that, just by comparison. So pretty cool.
The thing I like about this one also, Michael, is for people that are relatively new to real estate and things like that. I think this is a pretty good house hacking opportunity where a lot of people go in duplexes, right? So you're sharing a wall with your tenants, but in this one, you're actually separated. So that's nice. You have the back house or the front house. So I do know that there's some opportunity for that in this.
I mean, I got to tell you, Dylan, that's how I'd market this one. I would actually put in the listing, great house hacking opportunity. Because again, you can get an owner, right? Somebody who's in their 20s or 30s wanting to buy a house. And again, if they did this right, so 285, they put, I don't know, 15, 20K down, 3.5% down, whatever that is. What would that be? 3.5? About 13. Yeah. Yeah. Basically living in a house for free. Yeah. I would certainly market that way. So that's your last slide, right?
Yeah, that's my last slide.
All right, Dylan, one more time. If people are interested in either a triplex that needs work or potentially a turnkey, 2 houses on one lot, what's your phone number?
559-481-9738. Or again, you can reach me at my email, dylan@miracle-realty.com.
Very cool, Dylan. Thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it.